Hey everyone, welcome to the Return of the Logos podcast, where we're attempting to return logic to a chaotic world by shining a light on the shadows. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the Return of the Logos podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to have an interesting little show for you tonight. There's been a lot happening, but first, before we get into that, there was something that I wanted to address from our last episode.
What we call housekeeping? I like to call it that. I don't know. I'm not sure if Isaiah likes that.
It doesn't matter to me, to be honest. I don't really care. It's just like, hey, we screwed something up or we need to clarify something.
It's normally clarity.
Yeah. Well, not that I really think that we're big enough to be in fear of a defamation lawsuit, but I think
what are you talking about?
I think it's still the appropriate thing to do. We talked a little bit about Luigi Mangione last week, just briefly. During the course of the conversation, I made the statement that Luigi Mangione killed Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. I just want to say, for the record, publicly, allegedly. Allegedly.
We allegedly saw video of him allegedly pulling out an alleged gun and allegedly at point blank range firing it
at an alleged person.
At an alleged CEO.
Yes. Luigi Mangione allegedly killed Brian Thompson.
We'll run that past legal and see if that corrects the problem.
Run that past legal and, tell them to, keep their eyes and ears open for any lawsuits coming in, from other attorneys.
I'll text legal right now. They're on it.
All right. Sweet. Thanks, man.
Done.
Awesome. All right. So tonight, well, it may be today when you guys are listening to it. We record generally in the evening. There's been a lot happening in the last few weeks.
A whole lot.
And there is a delay between when we record and when you guys get it. So when you're hearing it, it may be a little past due, shall we say. But we still feel that it's important for us to discuss some of these things.
Well, and this is a conversational program. This is not a news outlet.
Right. Yes.
It's just me and Isaiah. There's no team. There's no... we can't
give away the secrets.
We can't go to our on-site reporter.
And our research staff.
Yeah. No, this is just stuff that me and Isaiah are noticing, and we just feel like it's important to talk about it.
So we did want to do this whole episode on just a lot of the stuff that's been happening over the last couple weeks. So tonight we have
a special edition
of Not So Current Affairs.
Welcome to Not So Current Affairs. Brought to you by Return of the Logos with your host, Isaiah.
How much time?
You're on.
I love scotch. Scotchy, scotch. Here it goes down into my belly. That is good. How much time till we're on?
We're on, Ron.
What?
We're on the air right now.
I'm ready. Good evening. Here's what's going on in your world tonight.
You've got the timing worked out on that pretty well. I'm fairly impressed.
It's all natural.
You just feel the vibe.
Yeah. You got to get in the flow,
Get in the flow. All right. So first thing we wanted to talk about was there has been a surprising lack of information coming out about one Jeffrey Epstein. Do you remember what day this was that this memo came out, Andy? It was a couple days ago, right?
It was Sunday night.
Today is, for the record, July 11th. So on a holiday weekend,
July 4th,
on a Sunday night, there was a mysterious memo posted from the Department of Justice, no signature on it. At this point, we don't know who wrote it.
It does have a letterhead.
It does have a letterhead that's official.
So it's the U.S. Department of Justice Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah, so I want to read this memo to you all. I am right now on justice.gov's website. So that's where this is at. I'll try to keep it quick, but it's not very long. As part of our commitment to transparency, the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have conducted an exhaustive review of investigative holdings relating to Jeffrey Epstein. To ensure that the review was thorough, the FBI conducted digital searches of its databases, hard drives, and network drives, as well as physical searches of squad areas, locked cabinets, desks, closets, and other areas where responsive material may have been stored. These searches uncovered a significant amount of material, including more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence. I'm going to read a little more and then we'll just kind of summarize. The files relating to Epstein include a large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who are either minors or appear to be minors, and over 10,000 downloaded videos and images of illegal child sex abuse material and other pornography. Teams of agents, analysts, attorneys, and privacy and civil liberties experts comb through the digital and documentary evidence with the aim of providing as much information as possible to the public while simultaneously protecting victims. Through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of child pornography, of course. This systemic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation under uncharged third parties. One of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. Perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends. To that end, we have labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession. It is the determination of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. After a thorough investigation, FBI investigators concluded that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City. The conclusion is consistent with previous findings, including the August 19th, 2019 autopsy findings of the New York City Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. The conclusion that Epstein died by suicide is further supported by video footage from the common area of the special housing unit where Epstein was housed at the time of his death. So basically, this memo says, hey, everybody, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. We don't have a client list, and there's nothing in the evidence that we have that would warrant us going through a investigation into any type of blackmail of people that he was providing these young girls to. They're not going to investigate any of that because of their lack of evidence. And this has caused a really big stir in the, I guess we'll call it the MAGA community.
Yeah.
Really big stir.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think this whole thing that got the MAGA base upset started back a couple months ago. Bondi went on Fox and she said, I have it on my desk. And she made all these statements like, it's disgusting, it's this and it's that.
Well, there's a couple of things. They released binders of information. No new information was revealed, and they act like that was a big reveal. They botched that. The way they presented it was like, here you go, here it is, here's what we've been saying we were going to give you, and then it's a total nothing burger, right?
Yeah, and if you hear any of the people who were there talk about it, in particular Mike Cernovich, they'll tell you the first page of the binder said that, there's no new material in here. I saw that on Benny Johnson mentioned that his producer was one of the people that got it. And the first page said there's nothing here that's not already revealed.
So that's strike one.
That's strike one, yeah. Right. It was a whole fiasco. Everybody was like, oh, they're posing with the binders. And then what? It's nothing.
That was leading up to this. That was a bad move on their part.
Horrible move.
So I put that on Pam Bondi.
Yep.
I don't know why you would present it like it was something when it was nothing, knowing how important it was. And let me stress that everything that me and Isaiah are saying right now, it's all conjecture. Like,
yes,
we're trying to figure this out just like everybody else.
This is an opinion show.
Yeah. So it is about something more. It's about being able to trust your government. Mm-hmm. It's about transparency. It's about power, protecting power. And it is also unexpected out of the people that we're talking about, the people that are involved in this.
I think I'm a pretty good judge of who somebody is, even though he's a personality. You never really know a personality. But big fan of Dan Bongino. And I said from the beginning, like, I trust Dan Bongino completely. And I've heard other people that I have trust for say the same thing about Kash Patel.
I don't feel that Bongino is easily corruptible.
I don't either.
I mean, he left a multi-million-dollar business for a six-figure
To serve, basically.
nothing.
Yeah.
He left as a public service.
Yes.
If that's the kind of drive you have, then your drive is for service. He didn't need any of this.
Yeah, for sure. He's a millionaire, right? He didn't have to do it.
He didn't
have to do it.
No. He was asked and he answered the call.
Yeah.
So that should tell you something about his character.
Right. And I think that the next thing that happened that riled up the base as well was when Dan Bongino and Kash Patel did this interview with Maria Bartiromo.
Yes.
And they, she asked him, and we've got a little clip here. And what I do want to say is if you haven't seen this clip, you should watch it. You should find it and watch it and look at, now look, I watched Dan Bongino practically every day. So I know like his mannerisms and I know his voice very well.
His body language is weird.
His body language in this video is weird and his voice is weird.
Yep.
And I'm not the only one that says that. A lot of people are saying that. So take a listen to this clip. And if you know Bongino's voice, listen to his voice when he says it. Again, go and find this clip and watch it yourself.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
So I've seen Kash Patel a handful of times on different shows and interviews with him. And even him, like his body language in there was kind of weird. He's very stiff. I wouldn't say like he was looking shifty. But the point that I'm trying to get to is that they seem out of their comfort zone, almost as if it's like, you need to say this thing.
It's not necessarily evidence of that, though.
It's not.
Because they're in a very different position.
True.
They were free previously to say whatever their opinion is.
Right.
They were not representatives of government organizations, right? So that has to be very uncomfortable to go from having a talk show where you can say, this is what I think. They are now in a position where they can't just be like, there's no evidence of this, but I'm going to go off script and say, I still think something's not right.
Right.
They can't do that in the positions that they're in. And that could explain the awkwardness of it.
Very much. And I agree.
Because their opinion doesn't matter. It's what can I prove in court?
I do agree with that. My point to saying that is I understand the uncomfort level, especially when they know what they've said in the past.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If what they're saying is 100% true, they know in the back of their head, shit, this is going to piss everybody off. But it's the truth, and I have to say it.
So that's got to be uncomfortable.
Right. So I get it.
We also don't know what evidence still exists for them to examine.
And that was another thing. It's like in the memo, it said, we've reviewed the evidence we have. Who the hell knows what evidence, if any, got destroyed? We know that there's been corruption in the FBI for years. You're talking about the FBI that was run by the guy who basically set up Russiagate and got that whole thing going.
Yeah.
So we know that there was corruption in the FBI.
So let's just do what Dan and Kash can't do. Opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's put on our conspiracy theory hat.
Let's do it.
If Jeffrey Epstein was killed by Hillary Clinton,
Or whoever.
which is a popular notion,
Yeah.
right?
There's photos of Bill with old Jeff.
There have been several people that I have watched interviews with that have insider information, investigative journalists, and Epstein had 25 different ways to contact Bill Clinton.
Oh, that's totally normal, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry, I digress. Let's say that there's this giant conspiracy and the Clinton machine, along with a bunch of other powerful people, were able to get into a secure facility, have the cameras turned off, go in and suicide him. Why would they go through all that trouble if they weren't going to destroy the evidence of the client list and any incriminating evidence that goes along with it? If that evidence existed, why on earth would they just go kill the guy and then leave all the evidence? That would make no sense. So if you follow it to its logical conclusion, they destroyed all the evidence just like they destroyed Epstein.
Well, but one could make the argument, though, that if they destroyed the evidence, they don't need to kill him because then it's just his testimony. Or am I thinking backwards about it?
No, I think if the conspiracy is as big as most people think it is, whether you're on the right, wherever you stand politically, most people that see it as a massive conspiracy, it is a conspiracy that runs so deep that it's like incriminating to America, other powerful leaders of other countries, the global cabal, all of the elites. There are no loose ends with a conspiracy that is that massive. If you believe all of the other stuff,
Then you have to believe
then
that
you have to believe
that they would have
that
killed him.
they are going to destroy him and any evidence.
Yeah, I see your point.
Now, they're not going to save Ghislaine or whatever the hell her name is.
That's appropriate.
Ghislaine Maxwell. That's how it's spelled. It's all about clients and trafficking is my point. They don't care that he's screwed and she's screwed. It's the client list. And having a contact list is not a client list. That's not something that you can put into a court of law. So just to kind of wrap the point, Cash and Bongino only have what's in front of them.
Correct.
And who's to say what is in front of them?
I agree with that.
And they're limited. They can't just opine on, I
Right.
think something's off here. It just doesn't feel right. They can't do that as at the head of the FBI.
Right. I agree with that.
You know?
I agree with that. But I want to back up a little bit
All right.
and do some finer points.
All right.
They released the video of Epstein's cell block.
Sort of.
Sort of. There is 1 minute missing. And Andy,
We are qualified to talk about this.
we are qualified to talk about this.
Yeah. We'll just
So
say
we'll
that.
leave it at that.
Yeah.
Their explanation was
Every night there's a minute missing because that's the way the system works, sort of explanation.
and it's
Something
been that
about-
way.
Something about backup.
And it's something about the year 2000. I even heard something about that.
year 2000.
So I'm sorry, that explanation is utter bullshit. I have never interacted with any type of video surveillance recording system, CCTV,
Yeah.
that every night stops for 1 minute for some random reason, reboot, or whatever their justification was.
Her explanation is completely unsatisfactory.
Yes.
And let's just say I would give the benefit of the doubt and say, this is a government facility, and government is pretty much the shittiest, most inefficient out there.
Okay, I'm on board.
So their technology is super, super old.
I'm on
It's
board.
super crappy. They don't have enough memory to cover 24 hours.
So
They have to back it. They have to back it up off site somewhere or to a server or something.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is the way that Pam Bondi presented this,
Yeah.
because you don't just throw that out there. Because to people that know, That makes no sense.
Yes.
First of all, it's in New York, but isn't it a federal?
It's a federal facility.
It's a federal facility. So what federal facility can you not go back 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 months, and review?
Yes. I have done work in federal facilities, and believe you me, they know they cannot lose that data.
Yeah.
They know that.
Yes. The benefit of the doubt is it's an old ass system and they've got some weird way of backing up the recordings. It's needed to be replaced for a long time and no one has put the funds towards that because they're busy transitioning prisoners from, male to female or something. This is not the way you present this to the American public. If you're Pam Bondi, you say, there is a minute missing. We know that. Here are a bunch of previous recordings, and you'll notice they're all missing because that's the way the system works. And here's a representative from the manufacturer of this product that we are using in this facility. We are working with them so that this never happens again. I would like to turn it over to them so they can explain to you what the problem is with the system and why it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
That's how you go about it if there's an iota of truth. You don't just say, it was a bunch of porn and the security system, it does it every night. It just deletes a minute.
I'm going to be honest. When Trump selected Bondi, I didn't have any feelings one way or the other.
Me neither.
And now I'm convinced she's out of her league.
She's also from Florida.
And yes, she made her career in Florida, which is where the original Epstein story blew up in the early 2000s, right? That's where the whole thing started. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. And the other thing that regarding the conspiracy aspect of this, there's a documentary on Netflix, Filthy Rich, the Jeffrey Epstein story. It was done in 2020, so it was before all of this happened. That documentary basically outlines the degeneracy of Epstein himself. It doesn't dive into any of the political undertones of what could be happening.
A little bit of Ghislaine.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know I'm pronouncing that wrong.
it's wrong, but it's right in so many ways.
I'm just going to keep saying it.
Yeah. So having seen that, it's incredible to me. All of the evidence that they had against him in the early 2000s, all of the victims that they had, that he only got convicted of solicitation of prostitution and procurement of a minor for prostitution. He didn't get charged with any type of sexual assault, sexual battery, anything to do with messing around with young girls.
Justice for the victims.
Right.
Yeah. Couldn't have been more of a slap on the wrist.
Right. They were just basically a slap on the wrist. He got sentenced to 18 months. He served 13. He was granted work release 6 days a week for 12 hours a day. Basically, he would wake up, leave prison, go do whatever his day is, come back at night, and go to sleep 6 days a week.
He basically had to stay in a shitty hotel.
Yes, he had to stay in a shitty hotel for 13 months.
For a little over a year.
Yeah. This, to me, is the point. How do you get away with this much stuff for this long? And people would say, well, rich people get away with a lot of bad stuff. I agree.
Yep.
But my point is, at some point, when it comes to these types of actions with kids, he will run into someone who will have that moral foundation that cannot be bought off, who will say, there is no amount of money that you can pay me off with. I'm taking you down. Inevitably, there will be someone you run across that you cannot buy off.
And the only way to beat that person is if it's top down, which is why this conspiracy is so sprawling.
Yes.
And I did find out that Comey, ex-FBI director,
Yes.
Comey, his daughter was part of both Epstein cases, both the one in Florida and the one in New York.
Yeah.
It's a crazy web.
Yes.
And we've been left so long with no answers. They left us with no other choice but to come to our own conclusions.
Yes.
So it is no wonder that we've come to those conclusions. I mean, I don't like the way Pam Bondi has handled this. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that Bongino and Cash actually have evidence that they could provide any sort of indictment or prosecution.
Understood, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Even if this web is like so suspicious. I want to say one other thing, and then I'll let you go. Sorry to interrupt. I think another big part of the public's interest in this is the Netflix special.
That's possible, yeah.
Because you look at the Netflix specials that came out on or around COVID, Tiger King, The Making of a Murderer, and
Filthy Rich. Yep. Everybody was at home.
You know what? After watching Making of a Murderer,
Yeah, right.
I thought for sure, what an injustice
Yeah.
because of the way that that was doled out. I don't think that anymore.
Yeah. There's one thing that I always try to remind myself, particularly with like crime documentaries or some type of an activist position documentary, climate change, things like that.
Yep.
You have to remember the writer and director do have an agenda or a point of view that they want to express.
Yes.
Always remind yourself that when you're watching a documentary.
I think that's a big part of the public interest, though, is the
Yeah.
fact that they had this documentary. This goes back to last episode. Netflix are Democrats, and Democrats are always on the side of the bad guy. So that's why they put out this 2 seasons of The Making of a Murderer and made that guy, Avery, whatever his name was, made him out to be this like innocent, like sort of dumb guy that his family had a junkyard. And the cops
They took advantage
The cops
of it.
just hated him.
Hated him and planted evidence on him. And
Right. They painted that story. That story was cherry picked. So I don't know what of the Jeffrey Epstein story was trying to paint a picture. But it was definitely at a time in America where hating the rich, eat the rich was
in vogue.
Was definitely the thing, right?
Yeah. And you made a point earlier that even if all the conspiracy theorists are wrong, you cannot blame them for coming to the conclusions that they've come to.
No, not at all.
Given the way that this entire situation has been handled over decades. I don't know, Ben Shapiro made a good point about it. He said, look, I trust Dan Bongino, I trust Kash Patel. At some point, you have to be able to look at somebody and say, I trust what you're telling me. And
unless you have evidence otherwise.
Right. And lack of evidence is not evidence.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And he makes a good point. And because I kind of lean towards the conspiracy, but, Ben Shapiro kind of brought me back. I'm still kind of in the middle.
I just think they're handling this terribly.
They're handling it terribly. And we're not the only ones who think it's being handled terribly, because now there is news that Dan Bongino is considering resigning.
This has not been confirmed.
I don't think this has been confirmed.
But we do know he took the day off today.
Yeah.
And there's speculation that he might not come back.
Correct. I mean, it was reported on, the first place I heard it was from Laura Loomer, so I immediately kind of was, I don't know.
Yeah.
She has good sources, but I have trust issues with her just because I think that she is a whore for the spotlight and for the glory.
I agree, but I don't think she's part of the PSYOP.
I don't think she's part of the PSYOP. I think she's actually in conflict with the PSYOP, which is why so many people are just like, yeah,
who's this broad?
Yeah. But I mean, they even reported it on CNN.
We're hearing that he's considering resigning after they had this heated confrontation with the Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of this earlier this week. And basically there was a meeting at the White House where the FBI Director, Kash Patel, was there, the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. They were questioned about whether they were part of a story, that there was basically some infighting over how this came out, and this memo that said we're not going to be releasing any more information related to Jeffrey Epstein. And I should note that we are told Bongino denied leaking any story to this outlet that it was reported on. But there has been a lot of fighting between Attorney General Pam Bondi specifically and the leadership over at the FBI over who's to blame in this situation.
First of all, CNN needs to tell people that call into their programming,
get better internet,
not to use a cell phone in an elevator when they do so.
Or that, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yes, that was not us.
Or 2 levels down in a parking garage, wherever the hell she was.
Yeah.
That is not when you call in to a nationally syndicated news program.
Yeah. We have moderately good recording equipment, so that is not us. That's the crappy lady calling from her cell phone in a parking garage. So with this news coming out, it pushes me more in the direction of that there's something being covered up, and he knows it, and he doesn't like it, and he doesn't want to be a part of it. I said to my wife a couple days ago, because she was like, well, what about Dan Bongino? Do you trust him? And if you trust him and you think that this is the case, then why would he say that? And I told her, I said, that's a good point. If there is something like that going on, my hope would be that Dan Bongino would quit and he would go back to his show and he comes out and tells the whole story. And, a few days later, here's what happens. I don't know. Make of that what you will.
Again, this is unverified. This is hearsay at this point in time. We don't know that he's stepping down.
Correct. So all of this is just, the whole thing is bizarre. I picture the whole thing as like one of those rubber band balls. It's so convoluted and so tight. How in the world do you unravel it?
Here's what I would have preferred to see. If there is evidence missing, or there's a suspicion of evidence that's missing, just come out and say, there's a lot here, guys, and if we come out, we release this stuff too early, then the bad guys are going to get away.
Yes.
We're looking for evidence that could prove fruitful for a possible indictment or prosecution.
And they don't even have to go that far. They could just come out and make a statement and say, look, there's a lot of, we have a lot of evidence here that we're going through. We're not even sure if we have it all. We know that this is important to a lot of people and we want to do it right. We don't want to mislead anyone, but we also don't want to put out false information. And when we do put out information, we want to make sure that we're not compromising our investigation. That being said, we're doing everything we can with what we have. Mm-hmm. That should have been what they come out and say, instead of, with the binders, Pam Bondi on Fox.
Epstein killed himself. I've looked at the evidence.
Well, and that's the thing too. If you listen, Dan Bongino's a smart guy. He knows what he's saying. Yeah. He said, I've seen the evidence. He killed himself.
Yep. Right.
That's the evidence that they have.
He's not going to deviate from that. He's not in a position to do so.
Right.
He's not running a radio program.
Right, exactly.
So there's that. At this point in time, this is all conjecture and speculation because it's either that or this is a horrific conspiracy. Epstein was some sort of international frickin' spy or CIA operative, and there are implications that would have national security.
That's my theory.
Threats, and there are leaders of foreign countries that we're in negotiations with to try and stop wars.
That's mainly where I'm at.
Or it could just be as simple as, we got his contacts, but we don't know which of these people are clients and which of these people are just people that
he knew.
Epstein knew and attempted to gain influence over.
Yeah. Guys, we'll wrap this up. I think that he probably was some type of intelligence asset. There's no real clear answer on where he got his money. Anyone that's been interviewed that knew him says this guy just has a way about him. He can get you to do whatever he wants. I mean, the guy that owned, what is it, L Brands or whatever, that
the limited,
Victoria's Secret,
yeah.
and some other Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah.
He basically got that guy who was not known to be generous with his money to entrust him as the keeper of his billions of dollars.
Power of attorney.
My point here is that he clearly knows how to manipulate people. Well, who knows how to do that? Intelligence assets. That's what they do for a living, right? And like you were saying, if we let this out, the Prince of Saudi Arabia is involved.
Who knows
in these
what
people,
leverage is being applied and what leverage would be taken away?
It's one of those things where you, at some point, you may have to say, look, I can't risk destabilizing a region because of this guy. And that's kind of where I'm at with it.
But I think the pushback from the American public is totally genuine.
Yes.
And I think the American public needs to be done. We need to stand up to child abuse in any form whatsoever, but especially child trafficking, child pornography, all of this stuff. It has to be more of a priority, not just for the U.S. government, but for all governments across the globe.
Yes.
So I understand the outrage. It has to stop. At some point in time, it has to stop.
Yeah. And I think that compounding on top of that is that the MAGA base, I think that they feel a sense of betrayal because they're promised transparency.
Yep.
But your mention of child trafficking and exploitation is a good segue into really 3 stories, but they all kind of bundle into one. Last night, it's not so current, but it's current for us.
I don't know what I was trying to do.
I don't know. I think you were expecting me to come up with some like witty quip or something, but I'm not good at thinking on my feet.
Coming up next,
Yeah.
That's
Coming up next on Return of the Logos.
After the break.
Yeah.
Although
we'll see you in 2 and 2.
Although we don't have advertisers. So.
No.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you guys are welcome.
You're welcome, listeners.
We're biting the bullet for you guys. We're not making any money on this.
Yep. You're welcome.
Again, today's July 11th, the date of recording, and this happened yesterday. ICE raided a farm in California. And there were protesters at the farm in California. It's weird. And immediately, the crazy culty leftists online, they were showing videos, and Gavin Newsom actually posted this video, and he's saying, kids running from tear gas, crying on their phone because their mother was just taken from the fields. Trump calls me new scum, but he's the real scum. But basically, yeah, I mean, it's a video. It shows, kids and some parents running because there was tear gas. What they're not telling you, this was a marijuana farm. So they're harvesting marijuana, and the kids that were running away were one of 2 kids of protesters that came out to protest. So what kind of an asshole brings a kid to a protest? Or you guys can look this up. It's sourced. It's verified. A lot of the kids that were there were, Andy, can you take a guess?
Child labor.
Ding, 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 ding. Give that man a cookie.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm guessing from South America.
I'm not sure of the exact location. Wouldn't surprise me if it was Mexico. Cartel-related stuff, probably.
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't know exactly where they're from. But yes, they were child slave laborers. They were unaccompanied.
Harvesting the devil's lettuce.
Harvesting the devil's lettuce.
Sorry, I'm not making light of child labor in America.
So all of the leftists who want to politicize everything, ICE horrible because Trump tell them do job, they show snippets of video of people and kids running from tear gas, including Gavin Newsom.
Who put these kids in these positions in the first frickin' place?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yep.
To top it all off, During this raid, the protesters were dispersed, and one of the protesters opened fire on the ICE agents. I've got a little video here. I want you to listen to what the news anchor says.
Take a look at this video right here. It appears a protester fired some kind of gun at federal agents. This happened this afternoon. It was a really chaotic scene at the time. A lot of smoke was being launched at the protesters. And again, it appears a protester fired back with that weapon. It looks like he fired at least a couple of times. We have not heard about any agents being hurt.
Now, Andy, I was told on January 6th, people who got rowdy. Some of them, you could say maybe even broke into a building, and they were insurrectionists and rioters. And I'm being told that this guy who is firing a gun at federal officers is just a protester. I fucking hate these people.
Yeah.
This is the shit that pisses me off the most, is what the fucking media does. You want to know why people feel like they can get away with doing this shit? Because you fuckfaces give them cover by calling them protesters. You're not a protester if you're firing a fucking gun at law enforcement.
No, you're not. I know you guys can't see this, but as a responsible firearm owner, I can't help but comment on the fact that as he was firing at the law enforcement, there were multiple other protesters between him and the law enforcement.
Yeah.
That is so irresponsible.
Yeah.
The people that were running with him were in the direct line of fire, like very, very, very close.
Yeah.
It is amazing that no one got killed.
And this guy, it's not like he's just running away and fired once or twice. He fires, he runs, he takes cover behind a vehicle and fires again.
Yep. And he's running backwards. So he sees his comrades, the other protesters, running, and he chose to fire through them anyway.
Yeah.
So irresponsible. Sorry, that's just the gun safety.
No, I mean, that's an excellent point. I'm sorry. Like, I say it probably too much, but these people are fucking evil.
It's a complete disregard for human life, whether it's an ICE officer or one of his buddies that is part of the protest.
They don't care.
Complete disregard for human life. Like,
they don't care. They think they're going out and LARPing.
I don't know how you do that.
Right? They think they're LARPing. They get away with it. Right?
Yep. And then the media is like, a protester seemed to fire
some type of gun.
And
it's just like, he's not a protester.
Yeah. Like, at what point in time does it become a riot? For the left? At what point in time does it become a lawless riot?
Well, it wasn't a riot in 2020 when they were burning down cities.
Nope.
It wasn't a riot in Los Angeles, a month ago?
Yep.
When they were torching cars, wrecking cars, and throwing rocks at moving cars, and that's not a riot? It's not a riot.
Yep. So here's what the headline should be. ICE agents shot at pot farm raid to save migrant child labor.
Yeah.
That should be the headline. No, it's like, it appears that after ICE fired tear gas or smoke, one of the protesters.
So self-defense, right?
Right.
Right? These people are so stupid. So I want to tie in these other two stories with it. In the same day, July 8th, in two different cities in Texas, there were violent attacks on ICE officers.
Some would even say ambush.
One of them, I would definitely say ambush. We'll talk about the first one real quick. In McAllen, Texas, there was a man in a utility vest armed with an assault rifle, and he fired dozens of rounds. I've heard reports of up to 20 to 30 rounds at federal agents and a U.S. Border Patrol facility in McAllen, which is near the Mexico border. One of the cops was injured. They killed the assailant who was opening fire on him. Apparently, earlier that day, the guy's dad had gotten pulled over for a traffic violation, and he told the cops that he was looking for his son, and he was worried about him because he was having mental problems and he had weapons. His name was 27-year-old Ryan Luis Mosqueda committed this heinous act.
And this assault was at a detention facility?
It was at a detention facility. And my understanding, too, was the officers he opened fire on were actually like, I forget the term they have for them, but it was essentially like the SWAT team of ICE. So it's like, bad move, dude.
They're the guys that like handle breaches.
Yeah. You picked the wrong crowd, buddy. Another retard.
That's a
leftist.
little bit. That's a little bit amusing.
It is like, a little bit amusing.
This is what they do.
Yeah.
Like this is what we train for.
This is what we train for.
You know. So he's dead now, I'm assuming.
So he's dead now. He didn't make it. He didn't make it. Shocker. Yeah. So the second one, on the same day, there was a group of 11. I think they have 10 of them in custody. They're currently searching for one. A decent-sized group of people outside of an ICE facility.
Looks like 4 dudes, 5 girls, and 1 pretend girl, or
I can't even tell.
Maybe 2 pretend girls. Well, the one in the upper right corner, that's definitely.
He's a she. She's a he. She. I don't know.
That's a Zimzer.
That's a they them.
They them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this group of people went to an ICE facility, and they started throwing rocks at the vehicles, spray painting the vehicles with things like pig, FU, ice pigs, things like that, and doing that in an attempt to draw officers out of the building. And while that was occurring, one of the members broke off into a very nearby wooded area and opened fire on the officers as they were coming out. I believe it's this one. One of the officers got shot in the neck. He did survive. It sounds like it probably just grazed him, thankfully.
Yeah, they took him to the hospital.
He was
released.
He was released. He's okay.
Later that evening.
Yeah. So he made it. They have 10 of these people in custody. I believe they're still searching. They're still searching for one. My understanding was that the one that they're still trying to find is the one who actually was doing the shooting. My understanding was this guy basically stayed hidden in the woods for 24 hours while they searched. And then once they gave up the local area search is when he bugged out. So this dude...
It's planned.
It's coordinated. It's a conspiracy, right? You can charge him with conspiracy.
And where's the funding coming from? Because they said it was 10 to 15 people. Now, they have 10 in custody, right? Mm-hmm. But they're still looking for others.
Yeah, they're still looking. And
this was at another detention facility?
I'm not sure if it was a detention facility or just like one of their offices.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure. But it is at a ICE facility. You know, one of the things that they found is in these people's vehicles, they found all kinds of flyers and pamphlets. Let's see, they found spray paint, magazines containing ammunition, and flyers stating "Fight ICE terror with class war" and "Free all political prisoners." A flag was found that read "Resist fascism, fight oligarchy." All crazy leftist stuff.
They were all dressed in black, military-style clothing. Some were wearing body armor, and they were armed, and they had two-way radios.
Yeah.
So this was not like a
spur of the moment.
Get your buddies together. Hey, let's go. We hate ICE.
Right, exactly.
This was a coordinated effort. I would wager to say that's the equivalent of like a terrorist cell.
I would say so. And that's the way that Antifa operates.
Yes.
They operate in cells.
Yeah.
So technically they say, well, Antifa as an organization isn't an organization.
Antifa's an idea.
Antifa's an idea.
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia.
That was so retarded.
Are you serious?
Are you serious, dude? Throw back to, what was that, like 2013, 2020?
2020.
Oh my God.
Trump, Biden.
Yeah. I was reading that these people also put their phones in Faraday bags. So their phones can't be tracked. You want to talk about planning? That's planning. You don't put your phone in a Faraday bag just for fun.
This is anarchy. It's organized.
In these people's car, they found even more stuff like organizing for attack, insurrectionary anarchy. Like, at what point
do they stop calling these people fucking protesters?
Yeah. And it's not even that. At what point are the reasonable Democrats going to come out and say, this has got to stop, and stop giving opposition to Trump's lawful order to ICE to go out, get these illegals, and deport them? It's a perfectly legal order.
And they're all running cover. They're all running cover. They do the bait and switch. They say, we're a country of immigrants. They make no distinction between legal and illegal immigration.
Yeah.
No distinction between two things that are distinctly different.
Yes.
Very, very different.
Very different. You know, and it's not the illegal immigrants that are protesting.
No.
It's not the legal immigrants that are protesting.
No.
It's college-educated, unemployed, 20-something, middle-class fucking white boy and white girl. 90% of them. It's like I said before, it's like they're LARPing. Their life is so boring, they think to add some excitement to their life, they're going to go out and shoot up an ICE facility. A lot of them think that they're going to get away with it because a lot of times they do get away with it. Even the big ones, that's how they work. Like, they have a small group of agitators inside of a larger crowd of maybe well-intentioned people, maybe not well-intentioned people, but people who aren't necessarily privy to the plan.
Yes.
Right?
Not part of an operation, but
right.
But have been co-opted to.
Right. These people go out and do something to agitate the crowd. If the authorities respond, then the authorities are the bad guys. And then some 18-year-old girl that was just out protesting for something that she thought was right gets arrested with this Antifa fucker. And he says to her, oh, that's bullshit. Like, that was freedom of speech. These cops are pigs. Plant the seed.
Yep.
And then they create extremists out of regular people.
Yeah, and they're doing it across college campuses on a regular basis. Like, you cannot sustain the level of stupidity without recruiting.
Yeah. Stupid people tend to not make it very far.
Yeah. For all you evolutionists out there, why don't you ponder that one for a minute?
Yeah. I just, like, maybe it's because I'm not really an emotional thinker. I'm more of a logical thinker. And so maybe that's why I can't wrap my head around any of it. Why or how these people think that what they're doing is okay.
I think there are people out there that legitimately have concern for their fellow man, and their empathy runs high.
But those are the useful idiots. I'm talking about.
Yes. That's all I'm saying is
okay.
Like,
yeah.
We sort of go off on the fringe and the edges and the people that are driving the nonsense. But whether I do it on every episode or not, internally I do make a distinction between those people and the people that are just like, oh, well, that's not right. And here's the thing. I do understand anger towards injustice.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Like corrupt cops violating people's rights.
Yeah.
You know,
I hate
there
that.
have been plenty of times in my life where I'm like, these cops have way too much power for someone with a high school education at best.
Yeah.
They have way too much power. So I get that. I do support law enforcement. For me, it's always been, your battle is not with the cops, it's with the laws, right? So if you have a problem with what the cops are doing, the laws are what need to change. If a cop is not following the law, if they're violating your rights, I have no tolerance for that.
Yeah, I don't either.
That makes me extremely angry. So I understand if you're young, brain full of mush, as Rush Limbaugh used to always.
I don't understand how they can think ICE deporting illegal immigrants, that's something that they have the right to fight against with the cops themselves.
So that's actually probably a pretty good segue, because the reason why they think that is because that's what they're told. They're told that law enforcement is just disappearing people off the streets. Guys in masks and unmarked vehicles are just disappearing people off the streets. And they're making no distinction who those people are and what they've done.
Right.
They're being told all of this, I'd say propaganda, but it's really just rhetoric, heightened rhetoric from the left, the politicians on the left. They're making people think that they're taking American citizens and just disappearing them off the street like some sort of secret police force.
Right, like the Gestapo.
Like running covert operations and taking American citizens off the street and putting them in detention camps with no due process. And that's how they're painting this.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, look at the Mayor Bass from L.A.
Yeah, she's a piece of work.
Yeah.
It is critical that we use every single venue, every single possibility of seeking justice, and that's what we're doing today. And I do hope that the courts especially issue this injunction and stop this. But one thing about our city, and I say this every time because I think it's so important, our city is definitely united. You don't see dissension here. You see a city that is united because this is who we are. We are a city of immigrants, and we will stand with Angelenos regardless of what country they came from, when they got here, or why they're here. And so with that, I am proud to stand in unity as we file this lawsuit and seek justice, and hopefully that will come in the form of an injunction. Thank you.
So the mayor of a city wants to file an injunction against
the federal
government. What planet is she from?
No kings, right?
Yeah, no
She
kings.
thinks she has like a border around LA where she's
the sovereign.
She gets to make up her own laws.
Oh.
I know. It's exhausting. I know.
It's totally exhausting. Meanwhile, 3 weeks ago, LA was being ripped apart. Yeah, that's unity.
It's this kind of rhetoric.
Right, I get it. But what I don't understand, anybody who's moderately informed saw the riots in LA 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Moderately informed. So you tell me, how much longer are these dipshit politicians going to think that this rhetoric is going to keep working on regular people? Now, they know it's going to work for the radicals, and they're recruiting the radicals to do their fucking work for them, regardless of how the 98% of the rest of the people fucking feel about it. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot on this one.
No, it's all right.
But 98% of the people think that, no, you should not be shooting at cops. But they're going to continue to push the rhetoric that they know put officers' lives in danger. At what point do we say, how authoritarian do you actually want to go?
Well, they're asking for it in LA. Newsflash to Karen Bass, which perfect that her name is Karen.
Yeah, total Karen.
She's a Karen for sure. Note to self, LA is not its own country with independence from the United States.
Mind blown.
Yeah. You don't get to just disregard federal law.
Immigration is a federal issue. You Democrats even pointed that out back during the Biden term when Texas wanted to detain illegals crossing the border.
Yep.
You're like, no, you can't do that as a state. That's a federal issue. Well, now you, not even a governor, a fucking mayor, want to file a lawsuit to get an injunction against the federal government. I may sound like I'm simping for federal government, but I'm not.
No.
Okay?
No.
I am basically minarchist, right? As little government as possible, right?
Yeah.
But what is the function of a government if not to protect its people and secure its borders? That's literally kind of like the two main things it exists to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of other shit that I would rather them not be involved in.
Yes. But this...
Protecting our country from invasion, not one of the things that I don't want them to be involved in.
No, that is like the only
it's like
the
the kind
only
of their
things
primary
it's the only things I want them to do are the things that they want them to stop doing.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And she's like, "We are united. We are united. You're not your own country.
Yeah,
you don't get to decide that." L.A., San Francisco, Sacramento. There's probably one other in California.
I don't know.
They think they're their own fucking country. A bunch of fucking nut jobs. And they make their own fucking laws. And there's some room for that, but they are way, way, way past the threshold.
Yeah, no. Immigration, like you guys stated during Biden's administration, is a federal issue. So step the fuck down. Let the federal government handle the immigration. Let them do their jobs.
Yeah,
because
stop firing up all these homegrown freaking terrorists to attack them.
Because you know what? Trump ran on the platform, we're going to get the illegals out. Trump was elected on that platform with a mandate to do it. And the polls even show the majority of Americans approve of deportation.
Even CNN can't lie. So this is a good little clip.
Deport all immigrants who are here illegally, 55% of the New York Times, Marquette 64%, CBS News 57%, ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters.
So that's all illegal immigrants.
Who are illegal, yes. All illegal immigrants.
Yes.
If you get attacked and you want to walk away with your life, do not use...
That was awesome. Thanks, Rumble.
What you got to do is you got to throw dirt in their face.
What you got to do...
Watch this all... Yeah.
Take your what you got to do is you take your shoelace out, and we've made this shoelace. It's got microscopic barbs on it. The government doesn't want you to have this.
Yeah, you got to...
There's nothing they can do to stop it.
You got to click on this real quick before they take it down. The big industry doesn't want you to know about this, but there's nothing they can do about it.
Nothing they can do about it. There's nothing they can do about it. Have you heard the one where they do like Sam Elliott's voice?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. But yeah, so it's like every single poll, when they ask the blunt question, do you want all illegal immigrants deported?
It's not just criminals.
No, it's all illegal.
All of them.
All illegal immigrants deported. Every single poll, over 50%.
Yep.
So, sorry, all you assholes. Get out of the way so these people can do their job.
It's a mandate.
It's a mandate.
It's a mandate to follow the laws that are already on the books.
And at what point do we start charging these assholes who are attacking ICE agents? At what point do we start charging them with terrorism? Or at least be able to go the route of, I don't know, sedition? You're working against the will of the people of the country and against the government itself from doing its job.
You know what I would love to see is I would love to see them uncover the money. If they could find out, like without a shadow of a doubt, where that money's coming from and prosecute those people.
Oh, I would love
That's what would make a change in America. And you know what? I would have no problem with them doing it on either side.
Yeah,
if there's someone on the right that's being...
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, Bernie Sanders said it himself, 15, 20 years ago? Open borders or a Koch brothers conspiracy.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, cool. Lock up the Koch brothers. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
I don't care. I don't care who they are.
If it's prosecutable, if it's against the law and is being funded by someone, they should go after those people.
And fuck anybody that calls me a racist for saying that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andy. Am I a racist? I have pretty good evidence that I'm...
There are multiple reasons why you'd be hard pressed to accuse Isaiah of that.
It's just about protecting the sovereignty of a country, protecting the culture of a country, and actually following the law. Fuck you guys if you want to call me a racist.
Yeah, and if they can go on a nationwide manhunt for anybody that was on or around the Capitol on January 6th, then I want to see prosecutions. And not just for when people pull out guns. Because nobody pulled out a gun on January 6th, except for Capitol Police.
Yep.
So when there are these, air quote, fiery but peaceful protests that turn into riots, I want to see these people prosecuted.
Hunt them down.
Yeah.
How many people did they hunt down for January 6th?
They don't arrest anybody on that side. 2020, major cities burn and hardly anybody is arrested, prosecuted.
Yep.
And people that were quickly released.
And yeah, you're right. It's their rhetoric is driving a lot of it. And speaking of what bad rhetoric can lead to, the communist takeover of the most densely populated city in America.
How could that happen?
How could that happen? What are you talking about? Communists in America?
I thought we defeated communism.
Maybe we can get into it, do another show on this, but I actually have a theory that the Soviet Union won the Cold War. Maybe we can expand on that another time.
Well, let's see what happens in New York.
Let's see what happens in New York.
You might have some more fodder for your point.
I believe I would. Zohran Mamdani leads general election poll for New York City mayor. And for those who may not know who Mr. Zohran Mamdani
Can we just call him the Zohan?
Yes, don't mess with the Zohan, Andy.
Yeah, can I just
don't mess with the Zohan.
I'm just going to call him the Zohan because I don't like all those letters in that order.
It makes my mouth uncomfortable to say Mamdani.
I don't like those letters in that particular order.
Racist.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm
not racist. I'm just uncultured.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what they call. That's what they're calling it now.
Yeah. Racist.
Dude, I'm totally cultured, man. I love tacos.
You say you're French? Oui. We? No, we are not French. We're American because you're in America, okay? Greatest country on the planet.
Well, what have you given the world apart from George Bush, Cheerios, and the Fry Master?
Chinese food?
Chinese food. That's from China.
Pizza?
Italy.
Chimichanga.
Mexican.
Tacos. Italian food.
Rice and beans and noodles from Europe or from Asia.
Noodles from anywhere are good.
Noodles. Just noodles in general.
Like ramen.
Ramen. I personally like egg noodles. You make like stroganoff with it.
Ooh, yeah. I like the Amish ones.
I haven't had Amish noodles.
Big old fat egg noodles. The Amish ones.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. I haven't had them though.
You make beef and noodles or stroganoff.
Boy, our Midwestern's coming out.
Or if you want
stroganoff.
If you want some stick to your bones chicken noodle soup that is.
Ooh man, that sounds good.
Not soup. It's thick.
It's like
it's like gravy.
Chicken gravy stew.
Chicken gravy with noodles. Oh yeah.
Wait, what were we talking about?
Amish egg noodles.
Oh, we were talking about
the
Amish egg
Zohan.
noodles.
Sorry.
He's not an Amish egg noodle, you racist bastard.
Talking about me being uncultured.
Okay.
The Zohan.
The Zohan. The election for New York City mayor is closely approaching, and they've already had the primary election, and one Mr. the Zohan.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Zohan or Zohran? I think it's Zohran.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Zohran, but we'll still call him the Zohan.
The Zohan, yes.
He does not look like Adam Sandler.
He's gonna make your hair silky smooth.
Yes, I make it silky smooth.
Silky smooth.
Silky smooth. This gentleman has won the Democrat primary election in New York, defeating one Andrew Cuomo, well-known name. Not that I'm saying that he's a good guy, but may not be as bad as this fella. And he's also ahead in the polls over current mayor Eric Adams.
He might be as bad, but he's not as dumb as this guy. This guy's a freaking idiot.
Well, I don't know. Cuomo's kind of an idiot as well.
Maybe we should do like an A-B comparison.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a game show.
Okay. The Zohran or Cuomo?
Cuomo.
Who killed thousands of elderly people during COVID?
That's Cuomo.
Ding, 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 ding. Who wants government-run grocery stores?
That's the Zohran.
Ding, 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 ding. Andy, you're 2 for 2.
Soviet bread lines, anyone?
And if you think that we're being hyperbolic, this gentleman has actually called for government-run supermarkets. From CNN, a headline, Zohran Mamdani wants to build government supermarkets. America already has them. Really? Have you ever seen a government-run grocery store? Andy?
There's one, I think it's out of Alabama, maybe?
Really?
A rural small town that the grocery store was going to close down, and so there was going to be what they call a food desert.
Oh.
And so in order to keep groceries available, the local government bought the grocery store and tried to run it, and it failed after 3 years.
Miserably, I'm assuming.
They had to sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
Big shocker.
I mean, I don't know, like... I feel like if we went over to Russia, there'd still be government-run grocery stores there that are doing pretty well, right?
Yeah. It always works every time.
Yeah. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Smells like panther piss.
I'm just going to read some headlines. I'm not going to read full stories. And by some of the headlines I read, you'll probably be able to tell the political leaning of the outlet. Zohran Mamdani's bad plan for government grocery stores. City-run supermarkets aren't new, but no one's tried them in a city like New York. That sounds like real socialism hasn't been tried.
Yeah, this sounds promising.
Right-wing panic over government-owned grocery stores. Okay.
Republicans pounce.
MSNBC. City-owned grocery stores, a bold fix for food insecurity.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, look, I've never even actually been to his website, zohranfornyc.com. This is brand new, Andy. I haven't seen this.
Holy crap.
Did that just turn into a rug? Oh, no, that's just a glitch in the graphics. But it looks like a flying carpet.
I can show you the world. I'm sorry you guys aren't seeing this.
There was a
picture of him in like a
like the long white button-down shirts.
It's
that,
like a nightie.
Yeah,
but they wear them all the time during the day.
Yeah, and then when I moved my mouse over it, there was a graphics glitch, and it pixelated into different colors, but it just looks like a Middle Eastern carpet. Was that a glitch? Dude, are we in the Matrix?
I don't know.
So this is the first time I've ever been to, and look at this font. Look at the font.
It's like an Adam Sandler movie.
It is. Okay.
The Zohran from New York City.
I'm begging all of you, go to Zohran, Zohran for NYC.com. Please go to it. But on his website, under the atrocious font, Zohran Mamdani is running for mayor to lower the cost of living for working class New Yorkers. This campaign is for every person who believes in the dignity of their neighbors and that the government's job is actually to make our lives better. No, it's not.
Can I comment?
Please do.
There is no such thing as a working class New Yorker. There is not a working class wage that would allow you to afford housing in New York. He has to be talking about people in the outer boroughs.
Like the Bronx or Queens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, this guy he calls himself a democratic socialist. Meet Zohran Kwame Mamdani. Zohran Kwame Mamdani.
I don't like all those letters together. I'm
No.
just going to call him Zohan.
It makes my mouth uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Is a New York State Assembly member and Democratic Socialist running for mayor. Born in Uganda and raised in New York City, he has fought for the working class in and outside the legislature, hunger striking alongside taxi drivers to achieve more than $450 million in transformative debt relief.
That's what he leads with?
That's what he leads with.
That's his main qualification?
Yeah.
Is that he did a hunger strike?
A hunger strike, yeah. Well, he's a New York State Assembly member. Look, I don't have a problem with him being an immigrant. He's born in Uganda. But this goes to show a different point that ties in with all the immigration issues we're having, is that, look, we're getting people coming to this country who don't share the American values.
Yeah, they are not assimilating.
Yeah, they're not assimilating. And for me, that's the big issue.
They're not sending us their best.
They're not sending us their best. They're sending us rapists and murderers.
And I don't know, maybe some of them are good people. But they're not sending us their best.
It really bothers me because these people who are communists and socialists, they prey on the fact that right now times are hard for people economically. And they know if they tell them what they want to hear, hey, I can make your life easier. I can get government to pay for all this stuff so you don't have to. People who don't think too deeply about this stuff, they like the way it sounds. And I'm sorry, but the government cannot pay for anything without you paying for it. That's just the simple fact of the matter. Whether it's through you being taxed or whether it's through them printing money and causing inflation, which is a tax on you later on. So either way, the government cannot pay for anything. You're paying for it.
The government doesn't make money, it takes money.
Yes. And so let's look at Zohran for NYC.com, some of the things that he has listed here. Freeze the rent. This is going to go over well. He has a plan to freeze rent prices. A majority of New Yorkers are tenants, and more than 2 million of them live in rent-stabilized apartments. These homes should be the bedrock of economic security for the city's working class. And then he goes on to slam Eric Adams. As mayor, Zohran will immediately freeze the rent for all stabilized tenants and use every available resource to build the housing New Yorkers need and bring down the rent. There's a problem with that, Andy. Please explain.
They don't own the properties?
Correct. And the people who do own the properties do have to pay for upkeep. When prices for everything are high, it costs more to upkeep the premises.
Not to mention there's time and place utility. There is supply and demand. New York is one of the most heavily populated concentrations of a city
that we have, yeah.
That we have. So, yeah, New York is not for the poor.
No, it's not.
You kind of have to be doing well to live there because there are too many people that want to live there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just supply and demand. There's an approach that this guy has that will tie into all of these. So let's run down the other stuff that he's saying is going to be air quotes free or whatever.
Gotcha. So we've got fast, fare-free buses, the Department of Community Safety. I have heard about this. I won't go into too much detail, but basically they want to establish a council for policing hate crime, what they deem hate crime.
Going real well over in Europe. So
yeah. No cost childcare. City-owned grocery stores. Housing by and for New York. Cracking down on bad landlords.
Bad.
Taxes on big corporations and the wealthiest New Yorkers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into his full platform.
So this is the mayor?
He's running for mayor.
He doesn't get to raise taxes on anybody.
Correct.
So first of all, his whole idea for funding all of this stuff, he would have to be in his current position as an assemblyman in order to raise taxes. And he specifically said that he wants to raise taxes on wealthy white neighborhoods.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. He has made that statement.
I don't know that that is verbatim, but that's basically what he said.
Yes.
The problem is the position of mayor does not afford him that authority.
Correct.
So all of this is supposed to be funded by something that he can't even accomplish.
Well, but Andy, I mean, when you're a socialist...
Well, you don't worry about those details.
You don't worry about the details. You just gradually make your way into communism, and then once you're full, once you're full communist, then you just do it because nobody can stop you.
Yeah. So it's not hyperbolic. These headlines that say the right goes crazy because of government-owned grocery stores idea.
Yeah.
Let me put a little point to the government-owned grocery stores, and then we'll talk about the bigger picture here. His whole thing, if you listen to interviews with him, his talking point is that New York spends $140-some billion on, the way he states it, propping up privately owned grocery stores. So what he's saying is that he's going to start government-owned grocery stores with no profit motive, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's going to do them in what is called a food desert, which what he categorizes as a food desert is people that don't have a grocery store within 5 blocks of their house.
I don't have a grocery store within 5 blocks of my house.
So you live in a food desert.
Oh, crap.
You need the Zohran to rescue
Zohran.
you. Yes.
Feed me Zohran.
Here's the problem with this whole talking point. New York is not paying $140 billion to prop up privately run grocery stores. They're offering tax breaks
to grocery stores.
And the reason they're offering tax breaks to grocery stores
because their taxes are already ridiculously high.
This, and also it's to account for what they call food deserts. So neighborhoods that the grocery stores by themselves don't want to open up in because it's not a profitable place. Maybe theft is high. For whatever reason, private people do not want to invest in these areas. So they give them a tax break to give them a motivation
to do it.
Right. So it's not like they're doling out $140 billion.
Right.
That's just over the course of a certain amount of years, how much they didn't steal from these companies.
From the companies, yeah,
yes.
from the owners.
Okay. And he's saying, what I'm proposing is going to cost $60 billion. That's going to be half of that.
Yeah, but it's $60 billion up front.
And that's $60 billion.
This is the bait and switch that they always do.
Yes.
When they give people tax breaks, they call it subsidization.
Spoken like a true communist, because they're saying that it's already theirs.
Right. Yeah.
Your money, it belongs to me. I'll tell you how much I'll allow you to keep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the mentality.
Yeah.
And he stated in previous interviews before he was running for election to be an unapologetic socialist, and that the end goal was to
seize the means of production.
Yeah, and you don't have to take my word for it. I'm pretty sure we got a clip here.
Yeah.
The purposes about this entire project, it's not simply to raise class consciousness, but to win socialism. And obviously raising class consciousness is a critical part of that. But making sure that we have candidates that both understand that and are willing to put that forward at every which moment that they have, at every which opportunity that they are given. We have to continue to elect more socialists, and we have to ensure that we are unapologetic about our socialism. There are also other issues that we firmly believe in, whether it's BDS, right, or whether it is the end goal of seizing the means of production.
The end goal.
Seizing the means of production.
The end goal of seizing the means of production.
That is communism. Anyone that's saying he's not a communist is full of shit. And him saying that he's not a communist, he's full of shit.
Yep. Here's the question. Is New York stupid enough to put this guy in charge?
I don't know.
Are they that far gone? Are they that dumb? Or are there enough people that have enough self-interest?
There have been stories that already real estate investment companies are leaving. He will destroy any type of real estate investment, and they're already losing money because real estate investment companies that are packing up shop and leaving. You know, that's a lot of money depending on how large the real estate firms are, potentially up to hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue for the city just from that.
Just tax the wealthy white people.
Yeah, just tax the wealthy white people.
Well,
the wealthy white people are going to leave if you start taxing them.
One of my favorite quotes is Margaret Thatcher. The problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is from the same era, Ronald Reagan. It's not that liberals are stupid. It's just that everything they know just isn't so. I probably butchered that, but that's the idea. In that little clip we played, he mentioned BDS, which is boycott, divest, and sanction. They're talking about Israel. They're called a boycott for all countries to divest investment from Israel and to sanction them until they no longer exist. So he's in support of that. And he has publicly used the phrase globalize the intifada. And in an interview, he was pressed 3 times to condemn the statement globalize the intifada, and he wouldn't do it. It's kind of funny because back when AOC, so fresh, so face, the fresh face of politics, this guy is not saying anything new that these retarded leftists have been saying for the last 5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
He's not saying anything new. He's not fresh. He's not face. He's retarded. He is literally retarded. Not to mention, this guy is not and has never been working class.
When you look at the history of communism, they've always used the working class as their tools.
Yes, they have.
They themselves have no idea what that is to be working class.
No, they have no idea. They think that because you work hard, that you hate your life. They've never had to work hard. And hey, sometimes working hard sucks, but there's a benefit to it. And these people don't understand what the benefit is to it, right? And hey, for a long time, I bounced around from shitty job to shitty job to shitty job, not making a lot of money. Yeah, it can be rough, but you know what? You survive. And if you've got a little bit of chutzpah, gumption, I don't know if chutzpah is the right word, but if you've got a little, just even a little bit of drive in you, you can make it out of that situation.
And if you keep going.
Yeah, you just keep going.
You can't just quit. You can't just give up.
But these people will never understand it. Or they're sociopaths and they do understand it, but they want everyone else to believe that it's not possible. That's why they hate the phrase, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. They hate that phrase. Well, I don't even have boots to have the straps to pull up.
This is all focused on resentment. And we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communism is just based in resentment. Another thing I would say, there is no such thing as socialism. It's only communism. That's always what it turns
to.
Yeah, that's just what it turns into. Socialism is a temporary state that gets you from where you were into communism. That's it.
Yeah, and just to state it, even though it's probably been stated thousands of times, communism and socialism in its pure form does not work.
No.
It has never worked. It has caused death, destruction, and suffering.
Yes.
Every time.
The largest death toll of any ideology ever.
Yep.
More than Nazis.
Yep.
So chew on that for a little bit. Yeah, keep your eye on that. And you make a good point, Andy. Good question to ask. Is New York...
Are they that far gone? Are they that stupid?
Yeah, I have my doubts, but there's a small part of me that's like, if he wins the primary and people vote for him, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm just like, all right, let him have it.
What I can't make sense of is they thumb their nose at labor. They think that labor is like a bad thing, some sort of injustice.
Yeah.
Which might be why they're okay with like the modern day serfdom of importing
illegal immigrant labor.
It's not slave labor, but it is definitely underwage.
It's definitely underwage, yeah.
You know,
and they're okay with it.
So they kind of turn their nose up at labor, but yet at the same time, that's what they use as a justification for why things should change and that they should be in power.
Yeah, because the people who are at the top in this structure, they're ideologically possessed, power hungry.
And they're weaponizing the resentment
and they're weaponizing
of the worker.
The regular people who believe in it.
Right.
Right. They're using those people's resentment. Right.
My life should be better.
Yeah.
Yes, things should be free.
Your life should be better. So go make it better. That's my response. Go make it better. Nobody's stopping you. That's what I always hate when I hear, all these people that talk about how, the system's keeping you down and you can never do anything to get ahead. I just don't buy it because I've been in that situation and now I live comfortably.
Perfect example is the work requirement in the One Big Beautiful Bill that just passed. If you're able-bodied of a reasonable working age and you don't have a child, you can have Medicaid. You have to work 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
They're just saying, get off your ass.
Yeah.
Try to do something for yourself.
And you'll see all of the Democrat pundits and all of the Democrat politicians.
They're cutting Medicaid. People are going to die.
They're cutting benefits for millions of Americans. It's like, no, they're just saying, can you work? Okay, go work. Yeah. Part-time.
They're cutting benefits for illegals who are not supposed to be getting those benefits, if you want to call them that.
Yeah.
I don't even like the term benefits.
No.
That feels like something that you're owed or you've earned.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not even eligible for these handouts. So those people will be affected by it.
Don't care. They shouldn't be getting it anyway.
They didn't pay into the system. They're not part of the system. Then the other people that will be affected are able-bodied people that just choose not to work.
Yeah.
And their only requirement is to work 20 hours a week.
Yeah. That's 4 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
There's been weeks in my life where I've worked 20 hours in 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, come on, give me a break.
Yep. There's been days in my life where I've worked 20 hours.
Yeah, I've had a few of those too. It's just like, get off your ass. We're not taking benefits away from you.
We're just trying to put in some guardrails so that the system is not taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And in reality, that will protect the system and increase its longevity. It's not the fix, but it's going to increase its longevity. It's going to make the system more healthy for the people that need it.
Yeah, and it goes back to your point that this ideology, the people who believe in it, at the end of the day, are just envious or greedy. That's it. They want free shit, and they want somebody else to pay for it because they can't wrap their brain around the government doesn't have money.
Well, and I think COVID did something weird to our country too.
Yeah, it did.
There's a lot of people that were like, yeah, I'm going to be resentful of everybody and everything and say I should have more stuff, better stuff, and I shouldn't have to do anything for it. And I'm going to sit around and I'm going to binge watch Netflix, get DoorDash, and I should get a government check.
I worked during all of COVID, and you know what I did with the stimulus money? I invested it in my house. I fixed up my house.
Yeah, right.
And you know what I did when I sold my house with some of that money? I paid off my car. All of that stemmed from I was working, and so I had that money as extra. And now I have no car payment.
Right.
And now I have an easily affordable mortgage. It's not rocket science, people. It's not.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. As much as I rag on New York, it is one of the greatest cities in America, definitely the financial center of the world.
It's been a shame to see it go downhill. Back in the 90s, Giuliani had it cleaned up pretty good. the one time I've been to New York City was in the 90s. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a city guy. I wouldn't want to live there, right? But it was cool to go, and I never felt in danger. Now I'm like, I don't have any desire to go to New York.
I would have to have very specific intentions.
Yeah, very specific. Let's get into this last one that we have. How about y'all take a listen to this?
But Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all-white, white-only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going, period. And I think that context needs to be said in this matter.
Okay, this is a community organizer in Texas. I think her name is Sadie
Perkins.
Perkins? Yes. Okay. There was a massive flood in Texas and a huge loss of life. Over 100 people.
At this point, yeah. At this point, it's past 100 people.
Yeah. So I think they're still counting, but
yeah. Very bad flash flood.
It's all tragic, but one of the more heartbreaking was a girls' camp that got flooded, and some of the dorms where some of the girls were staying, or cabins, got flooded out. There were well over 20 little girls ages 10 to 13 that got washed away in the flood. Just very sad. Like, I don't care what your politics are. Yeah. I can't imagine anyone losing their daughter and then trying to politicize that.
Yeah.
Especially race baiting.
Yeah, that's what politics. I was going to say is race baiting politics.
This person is trash, complete trash. Mm-hmm. So this community organizer, because they were all white, because it was a Christian camp, she was saying that it was no blacks allowed. That's not true at all. If there's a camp and people decide to go there,
it's the people who attend those churches.
And if you decide not to go there, that doesn't mean it's an all-white, whites-only Christian conservative camp.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I've never been to any church that turns away anybody.
No. And how dare you make that about your fucking BLM bullshit? How dare you monopolize on these children's deaths and attack them and their parents based off of some BLM BS? That person is garbage, absolute garbage. And she did get fired. I can't remember if it was a governmental position. She did get fired.
Yeah,
and
good.
And rightly so.
Yeah, she deserves it. She's a despicable person, and not trying to make this about me, but I've almost drowned before. I gotta say that probably has to be one of the scariest ways to die. And to imagine all those little kids had to go through that, that's horrible.
And then there are stories about camp counselors that had 3 girls in their arms trying to hold them back, and they got ripped away and washed away. Mm-hmm. I just think about if something like that would have happened at the camp that I went to when I was a kid.
Yeah. Regardless of what you think about the racial situation in the country, the Christian community, regardless of what you think about any of that, you're talking about dozens of kids dying. And you don't really care because it was a bunch of white Christian girls. You're an evil, scumbag, garbage person.
You're taking a terrible tragedy for hundreds of families. You're taking this terrible tragedy and you're somehow making it about you and your fucking BLM nonsense.
Yeah. Despicable.
The ego, the narcissism, the self-centered evil mentality that you have to have. And this is fresh while they're still trying to collect the bodies.
Yeah, they're still recovering people.
It's not just this weird community organizer. The left has a habit of making things that are not political talking points and monopolizing this. They do this every time there's a shooting.
Yep.
A mass shooting, a school shooting, they immediately want to show up and start talking about gun control. They have no care for the families, the victims.
They just
They have
want
no
their
care
agenda.
for the victims. They have no care for justice, what led up to it, why the person did this, how they did this. They have no care about any of that stuff. They just see it as an opportunity for them to politicize tragedy in order to further their agenda. And their agenda is always about self-serving power.
Yeah. What's the quote? I think it was the personal is political for them, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember the book, but very liberal author, and that's the way they think. They make everything political. You know, and what you were saying about the ego and the narcissism, and to me, it's pretty sad, but it's something that you can see it developing prevalence over the last 5 to 8 years. That wasn't in the culture. It's completely different from the culture and the community that I grew up in when I was younger, right?
It's so telling because I don't care if you are my worst enemy. If your daughter got washed away in a flood, I would stand next to you and I would probably cry with you.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the lack of empathy and humanity you have to have.
These people are either idiots or sociopaths. How many times do I have to say it? Like you were saying, like they'll politicize anything as long as it, you know, pushes their agenda. And don't get me wrong, there are Republicans that do it too, but it's way more prevalent on the left. You've had politicians coming out and politicizing the flood too in their own way. And, you know, I've seen politicians and pundits were, you know, making claims that the National Weather Service was understaffed, you know,
because of cuts
that the administration made. And so we've got a clip right here of famous John Eric Swalwell, who was banging a Chinese spy, politicizing this also.
I do think as lawmakers, we have a responsibility, though, to look at, did cuts affect the ability for folks on the ground and at the camp to have an earlier, better warning? But this is really going to, should we just attack government for government's sake? And for the last 6 months, we've seen an effort to undermine the hard work of government workers, whether it's air traffic controllers who keep planes from colliding in the air, or FEMA first responders who go into the harshest hit places in America.
Or ICE agents trying to do their job deporting illegals. I love how they never see
the parallel.
Yeah. On the other side, they never see it. And it's like, are you really that stupid?
Well, and his talking points are bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
Because FEMA, their budget was used to house illegal aliens that Biden was shipping all over the country. That money for that budget was being diverted for that purpose.
Yeah, money's fungible, asshole.
Yeah. And then when we had actual crises that FEMA was supposed to respond to.
North Carolina.
Yeah. So can you be more hypocritical? What was the other thing he said?
Air traffic controllers keeping planes from colliding.
Even though they didn't do that, and those were the cases in which we made note of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's politicizing this. There's a flood, kills a bunch of people. He's trying to make it Trump's fault.
And I think you did some research on this, right? And turns out they were actually overstaffed at that local National Weather Service station.
Yeah. So they typically have 2 of these early warning meteorologists. Sorry, I forget the actual technical name for them. But these positions that are responsible for early warning.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to have 2, and they had like 5 or 6. Because they had staffed up. They knew that there was going to be rain coming. They just had no idea that it was going to be
that bad.
Yeah,
and I also saw that they sent out a warning the night before.
12 hours.
12 hours before, saying, hey, be prepared. There's severe weather coming.
Yep.
And then they also issued the flash flood warning, to my understanding, before any real loss of property or life had happened.
Correct.
The only problem was that it was at like
It's
4 a.m. It
Yep.
was 4 a.m.
Yep.
when all this went down. So you're not going to get that memo. I'm so tired of the scumbags. I'm almost rooting for Trump to actually go authoritarian, like they keep claiming that he is. It's like, dude, I'm at the point now where I'm just ready for you. Just start arresting these people for no good reason. I don't like your ugly face.
I think they're making a mistake in L.A.
How so?
Their mouth is writing checks their body can't cash. They are not their own fucking country. They are subject to the laws of the land just like everybody else. They're picking a fight, and they're doing it intentionally.
I'm not saying Trump's a genius and he's playing 4D chess. Like all these executive orders, he's doing that because he wants these to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he's bringing it out.
He's bringing it out. There was a challenge to the executive order he did for ending birthright citizenship. The Supreme Court ruled that, appellate judges can't do nationwide injunctions.
Correct.
You have to have a class action lawsuit, basically.
Right.
And so a judge created a class,
Mm-hmm.
and a class action lawsuit was brought on behalf of, I want to make sure that I get the language right, of any born or future persons that are children of an illegal immigrant. So they've created a class, designated as the class, they've named future persons. Do you see where I'm going with this, Andy?
And babies.
Well, do you see where I'm going with this? Future persons.
Mm-hmm.
If this goes through, that's them admitting that someone who is not yet born is a person.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
No.
If this happens,
it's just a clump of cells.
There should be, and I'm not going to take credit for this observation. I heard Tim Pool make it, but it's a great observation. Every pro-life advocacy group should now be filing class action lawsuits on behalf of future persons because they have the right to life. I don't think that was an intention behind that because I don't think
sounds like a mistake on their part.
Well, I don't
to
think
set that precedent.
Well, and I don't think that the Trump administration could have even imagined that a class of persons would have been created that would pertain to unborn babies.
It's a gift.
This is, but this is so beautiful because it's like these people are so blinded by their hate, envy, and by their idiot ideology that's caused them to not be able to see 2 steps in front of them.
They can't even see their own contradictions because when it comes to the other side, it's just fingers in the ear, la, 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 not listening, not listening. All they have is hate. They can't even hear their own contradictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really amazing to see people that are that absorbed in their hatred of something.
Yeah.
It makes them go completely insane. Like they're completely detached from reality. They can't even recognize what they just said.
It's almost self-incriminating.
It's self-incriminating.
Like
and not only that, but it contradicts the thing that they just said 2 minutes ago.
Right.
But in their own head, they've wrapped it around
Yep.
to make it make sense. It's just, it's a weird thing to see, man. Weird.
Yeah, it's hard to square that circle.
Yeah.
Is Donald Trump an intellectual? Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
He's like a smart person.
He's like a smart person.
I think that's what you just said. I'm not going to say he's like playing 4D chess, but that's stupid.
Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm like a smart person. No, just you mentioned that he's putting out all these executive orders to try and flush some of this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say we end the episode on a positive?
Yay!
On a positive note.
Please.
So Trump put out the executive order that Title IX needs to be restored and abided by.
Literally, the dudes will abide.
The dudes, the dude abides. I don't know about you, but I take comfort in that. Knowing the dudes out there taking her easy for all us senators. Yeah, so this is in the news, and he's winning. He puts out the executive order that Title IX must be followed in order for schools to receive federal funding. For those of you that aren't aware, you probably all are, but Title IX is non-discrimination protection for women's sports and give women opportunities to play sports and for their sports to be funded.
Equal opportunity for women to play sports.
Yeah. When Chicks with Dicks started entering women's sports, there's a question of fairness and whether or not that is abiding by Title IX for men to be playing in women's sports. Everybody knows it's exhausting. It's been exhausting, but it's crazy. And it's something that has been happening, and it happened on an insane level during the Biden administration. Everybody knows Leah Thomas, the dude from UPenn.
The swimmer.
That swam. Well, UPenn, they backed down. Trump won.
Yeah.
UPenn has to make a public apology at a prominent space on their website. They have to apologize personally to all of the women who they made stand in a locker room
with a dude
and change. They are going to strip Leah Thomas of all of her awards and retroactively award all of the female swimmers. It just wins across the board. The fight's not over. The transgender nonsense is still very, very real, and it's still hot, and it's not going away anytime soon. It's going to be a war, but this battle is a big, big win. As a father of a young daughter, this is a big win. And all of the California colleges have been in violation of Title IX. Turns out these colleges, they want their federal funding.
Oh, yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Trump's like, okay, if you want taxpayer dollars, then you're going to make this right for women.
Yeah.
The Department of Education is backing him up. So they have 10 days.
Yeah. I find it funny
to
that
comply.
I find it funny that for somebody who's labeled to be such a misogynist actually protecting women, it just goes back to the point of these people are so ridiculous. They get so wrapped up in what they believe, they can't see the absurdity in it. This isn't me trying to like shut it down or anything. It's just like, I think the topic is just so boring.
Yeah.
Because there's no logic behind any of it. There's no good argument for any of it. There's none. And so to me, it's boring. And I think like most regular people are also bored with it. They're like, this is stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And I think as long as that sentiment prevails, then, you'll continue to see wins on that front. So.
Yeah. It's not over yet.
Yeah.
But it's a positive note. That's a big win because that was one of the things that I was just like, what on God's green earth is going on here? Because like you're saying, it is so stupid. It is so illogical. It is so dumb. And I don't care what adults do with their own life.
Yeah.
However they need to deal with their traumas. I don't care. I mean, I do, but it's your right.
Yeah.
But the moment you start whipping it out in front of a bunch of girls in the locker room, and a college basically tells the girls to shut up.
And to not understand how ill-intentioned men would take advantage of that is just beyond me. Like, how do you not know that that's going to happen?
I don't even care what their intentions are. Doesn't matter. They are not girls.
Yeah.
It's like that X post that you read last episode.
Which one?
Then you don't think trans women are real women. And
Yes, and
you
did not own.
Was there a point there?
Yeah, you did not own anyone with that statement.
No.
Even though you thought you did.
No.
No, we don't play by those rules.
No.
Like you said, they're playing their own.
You don't just get to make stuff up.
Yeah. It's like you said, they're playing their own game.
Yep.
You know, and that's not the game that 90% of the rest of the people are playing. I hope that this is kind of like the death knell for it.
I'd really hope so. And I hope that all of these colleges in California follow suit. I mean, I think UPenn, that's the template to go with. If not, I hope they lose all their taxpayer funding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's federal funding.
Yeah. I don't want to pay them.
I don't want to pay those. I don't want to pay them anyway.
Yeah, I don't.
But especially if they're doing dumb shit like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I don't want to send them any of my money for any reason. So, you know, but if that's the reason they could use to take it away, then okay, I'm good with it.
Yeah. What was her name? Riley Gaines. I just think that's awesome. After everything she's been through, the attacks that she put up with, everything that all of her fellow swimmers went through, they have to personally apologize to her.
Yeah.
And they have to give her the trophy that they gave Leah Thomas. You see what happens?
You see what happens, Larry?
You see?
You see what happens, Larry?
You might want to take a look out that window.
You might want to watch out that front window, Larry. Son, this is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass. You see what happens? You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens? This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, Larry. This is what happens, Larry. You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass? This is what happens. You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens, Larry? Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass? This is what happens, Larry. This is what happens, Larry.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So if that's what justice is, then call me a justice warrior.
I like
I'm all for it.
An actual justice warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's been a lot of news happening these days. We try to keep it current. This has been Not So Current Affairs with your hosts, Isaiah and Andy. That's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thanks so much.
We kind of went on a little journey there through quite a few little topics. There's just been so much going on lately, and we tried to cover some of it in the last episode. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, this has been Return of the Logos. I'm Andy.
And I'm Isaiah. And we'll see you next time.